Hi everybody, we're back. We had a little bit of a disruption there with the summer thing we got going on there. Welcome, yay! And so we're talking about the coming forward and living as a higher vibrational template of you, and allowing us to truly let go of the attachments that we've held about who we are, what we exist within, and what exists within us. In the most honoring and appreciative and benevolent way, because that allows us the most expansive stepping point and jumping off point, if you will, to fully live as that catalytic being, that's eternal light, that's eternal essence. And we transform all that we are as a multidimensional being, as I talked about and just touched on earlier, that we are the master of all that we are as a multidimensional experience, which means that we can release the attachments we've held about who we are in the linear perspective and truly transcend into science in every way. And that also affects Gaia and the grids, because we're all connected and linked through the water body. And through all that we are is this quantum entangled experience, the omnipresence that we are as source. And so we were talking about how we evolve and how we transcend in any moment through anything that we're experiencing. And it's through the catalyst that we always have within us. Those are the desires and the devotions and the commitments and that never-ending faith that we have within us, to know that there is always a light at the end of the tunnel. There's always something to explore. There's always something to experience and express ourselves as something new. And that comes innately within us. That's within our DNA threading. It's within our soul's experience, the personality, all that we are. And why our unification in that oneness with that pillar of light, and doing that centering and that self-care and that centering within the source creator and our teams, allowing us that constant fluidic movement, if you will, of our constant evolution, that all we require is always these catalytic energies and essences, really is what it is. The essences of who we are will always inspire us for greater evolution as this higher template version of all that we are, to ever eternal explore all that we are as the all. The all is one and the one is the all. And why we have those attachments that connect with us, to allow us those opportunities to recenter from a neutral point of view and perspective, to release our attachment to whatever is going on emotionally, physically, etherically, and energetically. Again, detaching from what you see physically, so that you become this vibration of what your new template is offering you. They will always be offered, but it's up to us to say, what is my excitement now? Where do I really want to feel into? Because that feeling vibration, that emotional vibration, that experience to express and explore and wander and ponder and be of joy and excitement, and to really press out, those are those catalytic energies that derive those vibrational core energies of that new template. Your feelings, your emotions, all that you are as this multidimensional human experience is now shifting into the spiritual experience. That spiritual experience can garner any vibration, any creative imagining, any creative experience, because it's the all, your source. That source is evolutionary catalyst. As source creator, I want to experience myself anew. What can we do? And it's constantly evolving out through unconditional love and joy. To get to that unconditional love, it's constantly honoring yourself as unconditional energy, unconditional miracle every moment. That's your centering. It's all neutral, and I choose to let go of what no longer serves. I'm an unconditional miracle, and this is what I choose now. Not devaluing anything else, not judging it or placing it in any less of a pattern or a box, because again, then it's returning back to a pattern. It's returning back to an attachment. It's very, very subtle, very, very subtle. And so releasing all attachments altogether and just living as this open essence of source. Releasing the attachment to have that specific outcome, even if you think that it's a light experience, if you will, because then that obsessive pull towards this is still negating anything else that is not this. And this is why it's really important that attachments be looked at and perceived in this open-ended way, and just observed, and allow yourself to have this neutral experience of just flowing through life. I'm a spiritual essence. I'm a soul. I am massive. I am magnetic. I know that whatever vibration I call in is going to allow me to look and perceive at what pattern, what experience was I allowing myself to believe and experience myself within, and what is within me. because I know it's more than that. I now know I'm one with source. I'm the all. I'm a spiritual essence source. I will have infinite catalyzing moments to allow me to pull into and press out into new experiences of who I am as this higher template version of me. I'm a soul. I'm an eternal soul with oversoul, 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 oversoul. So what's being presented to me so that I can perceive it from this perfect neutral space and see, and then call forward my soul, call forward my higher self, call forward the holy creators and say, my excitement is really to go paint right now. That's that catalytic moment that says, okay, you're going to process, you're going to integrate, you're going to understand this, go and have some creative playtime, be fun being you. That experience of that catalyst, the core need of that is just for you to have fun being you, for you to be joy being you, for you to be the all that you can be. And that's a part of the living as the soul. The soul does not, the soul doesn't say, okay, you've got to do this, this, and this today. Those, again, are attachments. Attachments to what you thought you had to complete in a day, and why? Does that make you any less or any more? So again, looking at all of these things, not in an over-analyzing way to dissect every aspect of your life. The idea is to know that attachments run at every multidimensional level, and as you're open and aware to it, you're going to begin to see, well, where did I really hold that attachment, and is that really who I choose to be? Attachments, remember, keep us threaded into programs and patterns that aren't necessarily for our highest and our best. That's why we're offering these opportunities to potentiate yourself into a higher program of experience if you so desire. It's always free will. And to know that as you live as this expansive being, a source, you begin to feel into all of these little areas that might be dense and calcified, if you will, by the densities or the traumas that we've held through attachment, because attachments have been there because how we've experienced ourselves in the human separative experience through fear and separation have been traumatic, you know, and not necessarily that fun. That's why the densities occur. There's also great light. There's also light there too. But to know and recognize, oh, what am I attached to? What belief am I attached to? And is it a limited belief? Because I really want to go expansive. I want to be my highest version of me. I want to be that highest version of me that I can be right now. Full on love, full on compassion, full on forgiveness for me first. And so these come up in everyday moments through your multidimensional experience of living moment for moment life. So allow yourself the most expansive alignment of who you are as a soul, as you are as source. I'm infinite, I'm eternal, the all is one and the one is the all. And as you do so, you know that all that you are moving into and all that you're allowing yourself to explore and express and co-create, those are those catalytic moments that keep pressing you out. You'll always have those. Those will always be innately threaded and ingrained within you. If we are modeled up with density of lower vibrational programs, and we only say that because we're explaining the higher template version of you, if you will, it's not valuation, it's not at all, then those densities cannot hear those inspirations, cannot see those multidimensional downloads or recognize it, and they get written off really quickly. The intuitions, if you will. Most of why many find themselves continuing those cycles is because they have attachments to what they see and what they experience in the physical, not allowing themselves to drop and be led by that intuition, by the divine source and the guidance within them, so that they're driven and they're guided fully by source of spirit. So the all that you are is love and light, and all that you will ever need is love and light to live from this center essence and have it continue to harmonize, and you can feel it. This morning I was feeling it. It's a constant harmonization of all that you are as source, creator, mother, father within. The creator is the Holy Spirit. However, we define the creator of all that is, the essence of evolution that is within and without, that we have access to activate, enhance, and catalyze us into something new, which will always be done through our excitements, will always be done through our explorations and our desires to express ourselves, because that's sovereignty. It's all linked. It's all a divine program. It's all elegantly designed. And your light is all that you will ever need. It is the essence of who you are as source. It's the essence of who you are, and you'll feel it. It feels like an essence. It's not defined by an attachment of what you thought yourself to be as physical, because you're allowing yourself to live as the essence now. And it's the oversoul of oversoul of oversouls. Your light will always thread you into infinite informations and wisdoms if you so desire, depending on what you're here to do and co-create and experience. You always have infinite access to wisdom and intelligence. That's why what I said earlier about they were when I was being brought back to that experience of my excitement, that little girl, God child in me was just saying, well, let's just get to this part, because this part I already know that. Why would we go back to that? Well, that's just allowing you to know that the honoring of all that you are, there's multidimensional aspects of all that you are, and you're honoring all that you are in the process. Therefore, you're allowing all that you are to be expansive. That's why as you open up to your all self, we're not devaluing any part of the journey or ride, because that part of me is always still alive and willing and ready to go, opening into greater light. It's far out there and wild. And so we're just going to go with it. And so I honor all aspects of me through the process of what I've learned, and even though I knew where I was always getting to. This is so wild. So if you can imagine, we've always seen things as linear, past, present, and future, but there's already a part of you that's already experiencing your most expansive self. So this is what I'm sensing into, and this is so wild as I'm saying it, because that part of me that wanted to get to this place right here is already there, and they're seeing this communication go back and forth. This is the opening into your allness. So your love and your light is your oneness with source as source. This is your truth. You'll always have this as your truth, because you're infinite source creator. This catalytic energies, these inspirators, these enzymes that catalyze you into something new, is also your truth. It's always sewn and threaded within that pillar of light, within the source, your DNA, all that you are, your soul blueprint of what you wanted to experience, explore, and express yourself, and then more, because it's infinite. We can't define these things. And you can choose to change it tomorrow if you so desire. If you got this, something was, this is what's really exciting about our planet. The more that we awaken to all of these infinite codes and these infinite expressions of who we are, we're changing the collective consciousness, and therefore new inspirations come, inventiveness. And so everything's changing so dynamically. So allow for that. It's always open. It's always open. It's always threaded with the essence of who you are, source, as your truth. That truth is always aligned with infinite, eternal, unconditional love and evolution through light. Those are truths. That is the knowingness. And I say that because as you move within these higher templates of co-creation and experience and manifestation, you allow yourself to see and be the experience of the miracle within all moments, releasing all attachments of what you thought anything had to look like or turn out like, or force it to outcome, if you will, because that's ego, safety from the separation experience. So profound. It's like, wow. It's infinite and co-creative. Your light is infinite. It's always co-creative, because light is light. It's infinite. It's creative. That's why how we express ourselves creatively is so important to the healing process and to the expansive process, our evolution process, and why we found such great challenges and even disharmony when schools started to take away creative expression classes, whether it be band and music, whenever other creators, but now they're starting to come back because they understand it's really important for development and self-confidence and clarity about who they are and how they express themselves within the world. It's not what we've always believed education to be, allowing ourselves to transcend and look beyond the box that everything that we've created, because it's been linear. They've been limited perspectives. So now we're stepping into the soul essence perspective of our oneness, the oneness perspective, allowing ourselves to be all essence, all source creator, all fluid, all now. All realities are now flying into this harmonization soup, this harmonization moment. It's an essence and a movement of harmonics. And we get to choose that harmonic based on our awareness, because it's light, it's a vibration, it's a sound. So what sound are you calling in? What's that new template vibration that you were at? Your light will always guide you. Again, your guides and your higher self and your oversoul are always guiding you based on your soul's blueprint on what you wanted to express and experience and explore, as this creative catalytic continues to push you out and evolve you. And you have all control, direction, if you will, on how and far out you go. You're a source. You're infinite. It's all that is. Again, it's your nourishment, it's your maintenance, it's your sustenance, it's your sanctuary, and it's your centering. So that's all we need. That's all we need. And if we allow ourselves to sustain within these experiences, anything that we've created as an attachment will come forward and show us, because it will be so out of alignment as living as pure source, the infinite and the all. And we'll see it. I'll give you an experience. one of the attachments that I've been letting go is, like I was experiencing an amazing experience. I have so many miracles that I've experienced with Source Creator. And through my conformity, I've detached myself from moving in those experiences of miracles to conform with the society around me, through the household, through the experiences and the psyche wounds that I've come here to heal. And so I ended up conforming, which was de-evolving who I am as light, degenerating my light, retarding my light. I know that now, so now I'm really excited and I'm just pressing out everywhere. But in that is that attachment to say, well, my teams were showing me this morning, let go of the attachment that you have to how anything is going to turn out. You have no idea, just let it go. Open into your infiniteness. Just be the presence of your excitement to be you. And that's what those catalytic energies that we were explaining are important. Because it's not about the doing and the getting. It's about that experience of being you, the expression of being you, the excitement to be you, the exploration to be you. Those are those vibrational energies that align you with the allness of who you are as the essence, which completely detaches us, if you will, from the human driven limitation that we have always lived within, the eons of programming and patterning and attachments. It's profound. And so this experience was showing, my teams were just saying, when you create your visualizations, when you create your co-creations as your excitement, just do it because you're excited to do what you do. How it comes together, how it flows to you, how it manifests is Source Creator. We are allowing ourselves to remember and to realign with the miracle that is Source. We, as Source. We are the open vessels of love, allowance, to express, to explore, and to experience the soul essence of all that we are, having a human experience. And all attachments can be released when they're brought up and offered, because it's in the vibration of the field that says there's a small attachment here that says you must control the outcome of this one desire and excitement that you have. So let's see if we can release that. Let's release that attachment, because it can come in 10 times in any way that we can define Source, which we can't, an infinite number of ways beyond what you ever thought. Just keep pressing out for infinite, keep pressing out for infinite in your creative, expressive, and explorations of who you are as that joy to be essence, to experience the fullness of how it feels to be you as Source. In those moments where you feel yourself on all realms and all dimensions, and it's just giving you information as you need it. You don't have to plan anything. You don't have to goal it. You don't have to create those rigid egoic attachments and patterns. That's not living as Source essence. Can't control the outcome of spirit, spirit, it just wants to flow and live through you, through your unconditional trust, your unconditional allowance, your unconditional joy, just to be you and experience you, to fall in love with you. That's why the path of love will always be the way of evolution, because it doesn't have anything to do with the ego. The ego is a part of this experience, but as we allow ourselves to surrender more and more as spirit, the ego will be soothed into helping us manifest those physical things, and we move and we flow and we fly and we navigate through everything as spirit and as Source, knowing that our excitements will drive us, our excitements and our experiences to be and feel ourselves in a new way will be that new experience template. Nothing to do with how the ego desires it to unfold or turn out or goal or manifest. The manifestations will just flow with you as you're reaching that vibration of, wow, I'm just exploring me today. This is just awesome and open. I'm going to explore. I'm so excited to be me. And then those attachments come to you and they say, wow, I just held an attachment with that. And so one thing that was coming to me is this dream and this really excitement that I have, these catalyzing energies that I have to continue to co-create. And, no matter what I'm going through, that energy is always in the back of my mind, because I'm here to assist in the co-creation of this for the collective. So it's always come as a very big vibration in my soul's blueprint. I'm constantly thinking about it at some level within the allness of who I am. Because as I said earlier, And I experienced it with you earlier, that there was already a part of me that was experiencing it. And those are the threads I can pull on. I can offer into it and say, I'm going to visualize the feeling of me in that experience of this big dream, if you will. Those are those vibrational feelings, the emotions, the catalyzing energies that align you with that experience. That's when you can just pop timelines and say, this is where I am now, because you're being that vibration, not for the goal of it, but for the excitement just to experience you as doing it, because you're experiencing you, your joy and your love for you. Not to say I want to reach that goal. That's why that little girl that I said earlier, she knew that there was something great here and she just wanted to pop over here. But the little girl in her says, well, just remember the value of the work and all that you've done. Be proud of every moment, because this over here is going to be 10 times better as you do. And this, again, will allow us to align with the oneness of everyone in our collective. That's oneness of forgiveness and understanding and empathy. I get you. I'm one with you. I'm there with you. I'm a soul having a human experience. The vibration I really get excited to feel is our oneness, our connection, our deep-hearted connection, and how we can co-create an excitement together. That's the excitement of that new earth template. I'm experiencing myself at the highest version of me because I just want to be me. I'll experience myself being me, however that is. And if it's something specific that you wanted to manifest, then feel yourself embracing that experience of it, the experience of driving that beautiful new luxury car. Feel yourself experiencing yourself and enjoying turning on the radio and just putting your hand out the window and feeling the air. That's your entanglement with source within the all. That's the soul experience. It's not just getting in the physical car and turning the keys and saying, wow, I've got an expensive car. That's the vibration of the ego. It's a part of that soulful experience, but you will get there perhaps in a much more enjoyable, dynamic way if you're feeling the entanglement of all that it is with source. It's part of it, but it's not all of it. That's why we were saying that experience that we're explaining to you is a limited experience. You can either have that feeling experience of you being source within all things, or it can be just one perspective and a very closed perspective. There's nothing wrong with this perspective. We're not devaluing it, but we're just saying now it's time to step into the soul experience where you can see and feel all of that you are. And have the expression and the joy and that catalytic evolution take you from one reality to a whole other, just by it, because eventually what we're experiencing, what we're offering to you now will click and it'll be like, whoa, you'll be kind of like, wow, that was huge. Because your whole reality is just shifted. You feel it. I'm living as a soul now. Well, come on forward, soul, let's do this. Just because it's fun. It's fun to be the soul of you for no other reason. Living as my soul. I'm calling my lineage forward. I'm calling my ancestors forward. I can feel it. It's that gratitude and love for be you. That's that purity of heart that just makes anything happen. And so in that experience, I was giving you an example of me. This big dream that I've had, and I've written it out a jillion times, and I journal it every day, and all of these, I'm a part of it. I'm building my experience of it. That expression of, wow, I'm going to have fun doing this. I'm going to have fun doing that. I'm going to explore this. I'm going to reach out to that. I see the soul tribe coming together and all of these experiences, if you will. And that's building the template of that higher version of me, because that version of me is sending me these experiences that I get. Yeah, these are my catalyzing experiences. Yeah, I get to do this. I get to feel this. I get to emote this. I get to explore this. I get to thread my way in this. Those are those soulful experiences. Not about the thing. And that's okay. The thing will be a part of it. And that's okay too. Celebrate that. But what we're really getting at is the core of the vibration. Allow yourself to feel, to know, to experience, to express, to really get in there as if the wave that you are, the electron wave that you are. Your waves of quantum energy, your waves of all that you are a source. You are the experience of source. You're a fluid movement of source. So feel it, be it, allow it. Call forward these beautiful experiences and know the catalytic energies of who you are able to transcend these attachments that unknowingly, because unless you're aware and conscious of it, you can't acknowledge it and change it. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. That's why that consciousness is so amazing. I'm going to open up and I'm going to say, okay, I understand these attachments are going to show me. I'm just going to live as my soulful self. They'll show me. Just as if my guide said this morning, well, what are you hanging on to in this one perspective? And I go, well, I don't know. It's got like 4 walls and, and they were just saying like, reach higher, girl, and go higher. What are you talking about? You're way more profound than that in your creative ability. Why stop there? I was like, oh, wow, okay, I guess I had that attachment because in the physical, that's all we thought we had. Well, now I choose to live as a soul, and my soul is infinite. My soul is eternal. I'm just going to allow the soul to manifest for me, and I'm just going to follow my excitement. I'm going to be that exciting vibration. I'm going to be the vibration of loving me. I'm going to be the vibration of being good to me. I'm going to be the vibration of expressing me however I want to express me. I'm going to come forward. My vibration is unique. I know it. I want to live in this unique vibration of me. And that is enough to get you into whatever it is that you're manifesting in the 10 times way that source is able to deliver it to you, because you don't have those attachments to the expectations or outcomes that are all egoic. Because the ego can only see what is in the physical, cannot understand the infinite you that is threading you information, that is offering you people in all these diverse ways this puzzle is fit together. Sometimes I'm lucky enough to get those visions where I can see those pieces coming together, and why, like I said, that little girl earlier, it's all a part of the puzzle because I can see it multidimensionally. Why that little girl needed to see that part and back up and take a look at it again, because that's important to the puzzle. It's important to what you're building. It's important to all the things you're threading into this new reality of your higher version you. So always know that you have these catalytic essences. It's you. It's you. Your excitement is you. You've had 100 lifetimes being a painter. That's part of your excitement essence that will drive you into these creatorhoods of your oneness as source. That's living as the soul, the essence of you in this higher vibrational templates. You then open up to all those aspects of you that are threading you all these informations and wisdoms. You then begin to see all of these energies and these patterns and these habits at whatever level you want. It doesn't matter. Some of them are very subtle and some of them are very profound. And some of them are, knock your socks off and say, wow, that just, I had no idea. And you can see where it was threaded to. You don't necessarily have to undo all the stories to it. That's not important. What's important is that you realize and just acknowledge the attachment. Say, I don't need it anymore. I transmute it. Let it go. I'm full source now. Those attachments return us to those limitation of fear experiences because it's all we've ever known. We're transcending the attachments that the ego we've created from the ego. And so another experience, and I'll just share this with you. It's been a huge, just so many beautiful things and experiences that I can go into, but I wanted to keep this fairly short. This video, because we got cut off, and we'll have to sew them together as a part 1 and a part 2. Why we're offering this higher version and this template of you is because of the fundamental joy that we are as souls, as spirit, that are moving through this dynamic, beautiful human experience. To know that there's always light within everything, regardless of how it seems at the moment, because again, we're healing those transcension experiences and letting go a lot of density sometimes, and those don't feel fine and good. But at any point in time, you drop down to the center of who you are and you ask for that guidance and those prayers of communion and oneness and centering. Remember that sanctuary of you, your higher self and your soul. And you'll always be guided as the soul's highest version of experience, because the soul will always guide you in your highest experience if you're listening. Your higher self will always guide you in your higher self experience if you're listening. Living that path that's of your highest integrity. And we say integrity because the ego will always, what I've experienced is the ego will always try and pull you back with these experiences, because there's certain initiations, if you will, into certain levels based again on what you're here to offer and do. The more expansive collective experience that you may have will allow you greater initiations, because you need to be tested to ensure that you're of the highest divine intention. It's not egoic. It's not about self-service. It's the all collective. And that's why you have these various initiations, and those ego programs, those patterns, those attachments are not only from this lifetime, they're from all lifetimes. Oftentimes too, what I've found and I experienced is that oftentimes these attachments are not necessarily even yours. You've had them programmed at the soul level in this lifetime so that you can allow it to be an experience as a part of the collective healing. So some of these experiences were not necessarily mine in any of my lifetimes to a greatest degree that I've experienced it, because I'm healing it for the collective. And or I'm healing it so that I'm able to explain it. And why some of them don't feel comfortable to me, because in my heart, I understand that does not feel like the essence of who I know myself to be. I'll go into that in a different video in a different way, because there's more to what I'm saying than what these words are allowing to express. And so the soul itself, for soul's growth, for soul's purity, it wants that highest alignment of purity, so that you're not bringing any ego attachment, you're not bringing any ego density. This is what this next phase is about. Rarefying your experience so that you're not bringing the density of what the ego has created through timelines of separation. I'm having lots of things going on in my crown. That's why my head is itchy. There's lots of activations going on. It tickles my crown. And I'm doing a lot with the brain, my brain right now. The brain, my brain, my soul's brain. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the ego. So how you always know when you're going through a big shift, like your DNA and because you get your skin, everything starts itching. That's when I know that I'm going through a really big shift. The DNA and everything, all of my DNA is being shifted, and everything. And so to do skin bathing, skin brushing, getting rid of the dead cells, so that your body is regenerating faster, higher cells. We'll talk about that in a whole other video, because it's the cell regeneration that I was talking about at the Metatronic and Christic state. Really, really exciting. So this ego, the ego that we are, the experiences that we've had in the psyche, templates that we're healing, all of the densities that we're healing, the soul is able to do anything. The light is all we need. And so these ego experiences will come up and they don't feel comfortable. They'll feel on and off. And you know that you're healing it for the collective, or you know that you're healing it for someone in your soul family, those kind of experiences. But they offer value to your soul's path, and why you needed to learn it and experience it is because it's part of the path that you're moving through. And so part of the example was all of my life, I've always felt that deep inner knowing of the oneness of majesty of creation, in a way that even as a kid, I wouldn't able to explain it in that way. But there was always something within me, that there was a thread, there was an essence, there was a vibration of something within me that knew there was divine orchestration, there was divine design, there was divine elegance. There was that essence vibration. It's a vibration of knowing. It's a vibrational knowing. And then it gets untrained, if you will, or entrained into conformity and density. So entrainment can work to a higher degree, entrainment can work as a lower degree. You end up becoming conformed to the vibrations that you are within your environment, unless you absolutely understand, as Lord Sananda pointed out to us earlier, is that we are the ones that activate and control our environment, not our environment controlling us. However, because we've come from these densities, we didn't know that growing up. So if you were told and you were around others that were of a certain vibration, you just conform to their vibration, and you conform because it was the easiest way and the most safe way to fit in, as my throat is being cleared. And so as you're going through these initiations to higher and higher templates of self, of the whole self, of the soul self, you'll allow yourself to tap into, well, that didn't really feel comfortable like me. And then, so I knew that this one experience about me as that deep knowing, that deep threading that I have, that oneness, that knowing that I have with Source, the majesty and the miracles that I've experienced through my whole life. And I wrote off, and I fell victim to conformity. And I wrote all of the magical experiences. That was my soul's journey, right? And then to reawaken to it and reacquaint with it and rethread with it and begin anew. That's awakening. And so part of my experience this morning was this miracle had happened this morning. And my teams had offered, reacquaint yourself with what you know to be true about the miracle that is Source. Because through all of the density that I've been healing and letting go of, that pure core vibrational essence had been so pulled and stretched by all the density and the pain that I'd experienced. And there was a belief within me somewhere that was allowing me to say, you know, there's so much that got reignited and reawakened and remembered into the divinity of who I am. That through all, and this is why so many people have so much challenge through the human experience and the human condition, because they see so often and they forget so often about the miracle and the majesty that's at every level of creation that you are in as well, that is source. But the patterns and the attachments take us out of that. It stretches us into a way that is barely hanging by a thread. You know, what takes you out of those hope frequencies, out of those higher knowing frequencies, your faith in oneness with source, your faith in oneness of the majesty of all creation, of evolution, you know, because you've been tested so much, you know, and I get it. I've had those experiences because I get it. To now see this new miracle that's happening before me, and I'm just like, that's me. I'm in that. And that's what source wanted me to remember, is that I'm creating that with source. I'm remembering my oneness with source. That is living as the soul. You know, it's just, and that heals all the attachments that I had. I let go of those attachments. You just feel the scissors cutting all of those threads. I don't need those anymore. I don't care how it looks when it turns out. I know it's going to be magnificent. I know it's going to be amazing because I'm one with source. I just want to ride with source. I'm surrendering 100% into love. The purity of who I am at my soul. Purity of who I am here. That's all I need. My light is all I need. I will be guided. I will be directed. I will be catalyzed anew. I will be inspired anew. I have the gifts and the skills through all that I have traversed. I have all the gifts and the skills that I need to know truth, to know the vibration of truth, to know the vibration of motivation and what's behind all things, so that I'm calling in those that are of that vibration through the gifts that I've earned and learned, and that everybody will. And then you let go of those vibrations of attachment, like codependency, if you will, attachment to food, if you will, because you'll have those intuitive meldings of source, those miracles of source that say, that doesn't feel good. I know there's a motivation that is not pure of intent. And so that's how you work it out in these new higher vibrational ways. Your intuitions and your gifts and your blessings will show you anything that's coming towards you that is not of pure intention, that is not of pure integrity. And then you get to choose at that soul level if you want to entangle with that or not, threading you in a myriad and infinite number of directions of your soul. And also know that those of pure intent that just want to be with you, just the joy of being with you. You'll know that, you'll feel it, you'll sense it in enough infinite number of ways, because our gifts are opening up and showing us in an infinite number of ways. How we sensed energy before is not how we sense it in this new vibration. It's done in a completely different way because you're operating from a higher template. So trust it. Trust in the living as your soul. Your soul will show you, and your soul will offer to you divine opportunities like soulmates. They're divinely threaded by your guides and their guides of your divine partnership that was done and agreed to before you got here at the highest level of your knowingness. Those are soulmate interactions. So trust it. If something's coming to you as a synchronicity, as an opportunity, as an event, your soul is working on levels and layers beyond what we have ideas to understand, and what I was shown about the little girl wanting to jet ahead. That's our soul. Our soul is saying, but you got to back up here. There's an important lesson here. Honor it, appreciate it, value it, and allow yourself to be this expansive self that's already here experiencing the stuff that you can feel in your visualizations and your meditations. You wanted to go through the physical process of manifestation. You wanted to go through the physical navigation of density, of polarity, because that's your mastery. And you get to help others do that too. You get to be the example, to say, I'm letting go of these attachments and the egoic games. The egoic games play with us on every level that we've created, that we've had it from other timelines and others create with us. If there's something in your field that is an egoic game, if you will, you'll sense it right away. And then you get to choose how you want to move through it or move away from it. And your soul and your higher self and all your intuitions will show you and alert you to what's in your highest and what's in your best and how do you want to move about. So it's just magnificent. So trust what you're moving through, what you're being offered, what you're given. Trust those beautiful sensings that will come through as the song of source, through the whispers, through the dreams, through your idiosyncrasies, through all those things that are actually magic. We're going to come up with new words in the 5D because they don't do justice to source. You know, how we've defined synchronicity is completely not how it is. You know, synchronicity is the majesty of source that we are co-creating as the masters in our allowance and in our acknowledgement of who we are as souls. They're not unrelated events at all. Nothing is not related. It's all one. It's the vibration from this core energy of our excitement, our desire, our joy for it to be us. You manifest synchronicity. Boom, 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 boom. That's your alignment of your truest self, because you're manifesting all these things that actually make sense to you. You get it. I know I manifested that. That was awesome. Like the miracle this morning. At first, my initial reaction was, oh no, because my heart went out for, this experience. And then my team said, remind yourself of the miracle that you are with Source, that Source is in all things, in all things. Remind yourself of that, and knowing that power. You know it, and so true it is. It comes forward from your knowingness, not the other way around. Things don't manifest because it's there and then you say, oh yeah, I see that. That's a car. No, you manifested that car. That's why the car is before you. How did you feel about it? Did you see yourself having fun and playing with the air through the windows? How was that feeling? It's the vibrational switch around, as living as the soul first. It's all vibration first. So let's have fun. Release the attachment, release the ego mind games that just slow you down into those limited programs of, well, I thought I had to do this, this, and this, and this. All of these things that the ego thinks it needs to do to control outcomes. No, just let it go. Living as a soul now is my higher program. So I'm probably going to have to listen to this a couple of times because there's so much in this on different levels and layers. So thank you so much. The catalyzing energies is, remember, it's your innate. It's ingrained within you. Every soul comes with these different catalyzing agents. These agents are the essence of who you are, to explore and constantly press out, to evolve. How you experience, express, and explore all that you are as Source. All that is within, all that is without, and who we are becoming more spirit, less matter. So we're harmonizing ourselves in these constant evolutions of feeling and emotion and expression, and these experiences of just joy, letting go of all else. And that's so exciting. That's the fuel. That's the fuel for our soul's journey. And how do we feel? I'm going to call forward my soul. I want to cook today. What do I want to cook? And just feel into the experience without having the attachments that you thought you needed or had for food, and how food is one experience of the multidimensional experience that we can move through with attachment as well as other things. So that's great. So thank you, dear lighted ones. I'm going to go make some food for my kids, have some lunch and some fun time connecting. We love you so much, and allow yourself to ponder, allow yourself to wonder, allow yourself to explore, and feel your way into these new higher template versions of who you are and what that feels like. What does that imagine like? Letting go of the mind, the lower mind aspect on how it thinks it should appear and look or feel. Just allow your soul to come forward. Fluid, unconditional expression and exploration, and pressing out evolutionarily of all that you are, your cells, your body, your reality experience is just harmonizing. It's very fluid, it's malleable, and you'll start to feel very different. It won't feel as solid. It will feel really ecstatic and moving in beautiful, energetic, vibrant ways, because that's who we are becoming. It's the higher version of who we are. Truly living as the free being, sovereign being of all that we are. We are sovereign beings. We get to explore and express and experience ourselves however we so desire, in that fullness of who we are, that beauty of who we are as Source, as love. So thank you, dear lighted ones. We love you. Namaste. Have fun exploring.